Hello student, I am Sangeeta Mansukhani. This is the video number 107. In this video I will be explain impurity defects and non-stoichiometric defect. In the last video I already explained stoichiometric defect. So last video I explained point defects classified into three types: stoichiometric defects, impurity defects and non-stoichiometric defects. So last video I already explained stoichiometric defect. So in this video I will be explain impurity defect and non-stoichiometric defects. So let us start. Impurity defect. Here you see this diagram related of the impurity defect. Okay, so if molten NaCl, NaCl crystal containing a little amount of the strontium chloride, so in NaCl Na plus 1 charge and strontium chloride Sr2 plus. So this Sr2 plus strontium ions, taken by strontium ions replace, see here you see charge 2 plus, so that is means 2 Na. So 2 Na plus replaces by, so strontium 2 plus ion replaces 2 Na plus ion. So if molten NaCl containing a little amount of strontium chloride is crystallized, so some of the site here you see Na plus Cl minus, Na plus Cl minus, Cl minus between the anion Na plus, so this side and this side, 2 Na plus ion missing, and 2 Na plus ion, the sides of the Na plus ion are occupied by strontium 2 plus. So strontium 2 plus, each strontium 2 plus replaces 2 Na plus ion, so it occupies the site of the one ion and the other side remain vacant. So cationic vacancy produced are equal number to that of the strontium ion. So another similar example is solid solution of cadmium chloride and AgCl. So if molten NaCl containing a little amount of the strontium chloride is crystallized, so some of the sides of the Na plus ion C are occupied by strontium 2 plus ion, and each strontium 2 plus replaces 2 Na plus ions, and it occupies the site of the one ion and other site is remain vacant. So cationic vacancies are produced are equal number to the that of the strontium 2 plus ion. So another example of this impurity defect, cadmium chloride and AgCl. Another example is the solid solution of the cadmium chloride, CdCl2 and AgCl. Third one is non-stoichiometric defect. So first is stoichiometric, second is impurities, and third one is non-stoichiometric defect. The defect discussed so far do not disturb the stoichiometry of the crystalline substance. A large number of non-stoichiometric inorganic solids are known which contain the constituent elements in non-stoichiometric ratio due to the defect in their crystal structure. So these defects are two types: metal excess defect and metal deficiency defect. So a large number of the non-stoichiometry inorganic solid are known which contain the constituent elements in non-stoichiometric ratio. So reason defect in their crystal structure. This defect are two types: metal excess defect and second one metal deficiency defect. So we have to start. First, metal excess defect. Here you see anion cation. See the arrangement. In between here you see electron in the vacant space, negative ion on the place of the negative ion. Which ion? Electron. So metal excess defect and second one metal deficiency defect. So metal excess defect due to the anionic vacancy. If anion absent, so anion absent, so here electron present on the anion place, so it is called metal axis defect, and metal axis defect due to the anionic vacancy. Okay, example alkali halides like NaCl, KCl show this type of defect. Okay, so show this type of defect when crystal of the NaCl are heated in atmosphere of sodium vapor. Okay, NaCl are heated in atmosphere of sodium vapor, so sodium atoms are deposited on the surface of the crystal. Okay, but chloride ion diffused to the surface of the crystal, so combined with Na and atoms to give NaCl. So this happened by loss of electron, right? Okay, so chloride ion give its electron, so this happened by the loss of electron by sodium atoms to form sodium ion. So Na given loss of electron and convert into the Na plus ion. Okay, and then chloride ion gaining the electron. So the released electron diffused into the crystal and occupy anionic site. Okay, clear? Again I say metal axis defect due to the anionic vacancy. So example alkali halides like NaCl and KCl. So when crystal of the NaCl heated in atmosphere of sodium vapor, so sodium atom are deposited on the surface of the crystal, right? Okay, so sodium atom are deposited on the surface of the crystal. So remaining chloride ion, so chloride ion diffused to the surface of the crystal and combined with Na atoms to give NaCl. So this happened by loss of electron by sodium atoms to form Na plus ion. Okay, and the released electron diffused into the crystal and occupy anionic site. See, the chloride ion diffused, so lost electron by sodium, so electron occupy the anionic vacancy. So result, the crystal now has an excess of sodium because chloride ion diffused, so electron occupy the anionic vacancy, but comparison then Na remain sodium ion, so the crystal now has an excess of sodium. Okay, so the anionic site occupied by unpaired electron are called F center. Okay, here anionic site, any anionic site occupied by the unpaired electron, so it is called F center. Okay, so F center, the anionic site occupied by unpaired electrons are called F center, and this from the German word Farbengenter for color center. From the German word Farbengenter, F center, that is means Farbengenter. So from the German word Farbengenter for color center. Okay, and they impart yellow color to the crystals of the NaCl. Okay, they impart yellow color to the crystals of the NaCl. So the color result by excitation of these electrons when they absorb energy, okay, from the visible light falling on the crystal. So that is means whenever light fall on the crystal, so electron, okay, so the color result by the excite of these electrons when they absorb energy. Okay, so visible light fall, so these electrons absorb the energy and color obtained. Okay, so similarly excess of the lithium, example in lithium chloride. So NaCl yellow color, see, NaCl color is yellow. Okay, yellow color. And then LiCl lithium chloride color, pink color. And then potassium chloride KCl crystal violet. Okay, then metal axis defect due to the presence of the extra cation at the interstitial site. Okay, whenever see, first metal axis defect due to the anionic vacancy because electron occupied the anionic vacancy. Second, metal axis defect due to the presence of the extra cation at interstitial site. Okay, interstitial site, so that is means vacant space covered by cation. Okay, example given zinc oxide. Zinc oxide is white in color. Okay, and white in color at room temperature, and whenever on heating, so it loses oxygen and turns yellow color. Okay, so metal excess defect due to the presence of the extra cation at interstitial sites. So zinc oxide is white in color at room temperature whenever heating, so loss of the oxygen and then turn yellow because cation is produced. So extra cation, so it is colorful. Okay, now there is excess of the zinc in the crystal and its formula becomes Zn1 plus XO. Zn1 plus XO. Okay, and the excess zinc 2 plus ions move to the interstitial site and the electrons to the neighboring interstitial site. So one side, in one interstitial space electron and one interstitial space is cation. Okay, so due to this reason metal excess defect. Okay, clear? So first is metal excess defect due to the anionic vacancy, and second one metal effect the excess defect due to the presence of the extra cations at the interstitial site. Metal excess defect due to the anionic vacancy, example given NaCl. Okay, and whenever anionic sites occupied by unpaired electrons so are called F center. It is very important basic concept. Okay, an F center from the German word Farbengenter for color center. So NaCl due to this reason yellow color because the electron excited absorb the energy. Lithium chloride pink color, and then potassium chloride violet color. Okay, then metal excess defect due to the presence of the extra cations at interstitial site. So example is zinc oxide. Zinc oxide is white color and on heating, so it is converted into the yellow color Zn2 plus and half O2 plus 2 electron. So cation and an electron both are produced. So zinc oxide white in color but convert into the yellow, reason loss of oxygen. Okay, so excess of the cation and electron, so one interstitial space sites covered by cation and second one interstitial site neighboring covered by electron. Okay, so metal excess defect. Second one, metal deficiency defect. There are many soil which are difficult to prepare in the stoichiometric composition and contain less amount of the metal as compared to the stoichiometric proportion. Okay, so typical example of this type is FeO. So iron oxide, a typical example of this type is FeO, which is mostly found with a composition of Fe 0.950. Okay, Fe 0.954. That is means for iron oxide composition if iron less amount 0.95. Otherwise, it may actually range from Fe 0.930 to 0.960. So, in crystals of the FeO, some iron Fe2 plus cations are missing and loss of the positive charge is made up by the presence of the required number of Fe3 plus ion. Okay, so loss of the positive charge is made up by the presence of required number of Fe3 plus ion. Okay, clear? So it is a metal deficiency defect. Clear? Okay. The next topic is electrical properties. Electrical properties, that is means it is most important properties of the solid. Solid exhibit an amazing range of electrical conductivities. Okay, solid exhibit an amazing range of electric conductivity, like extending over 27 orders of the magnitude. 27 order of the magnitude ranging from 10 raised to power minus 20 to 10 raised to power 7 ohm inverse and meter inverse. Okay, so extending order over 27 order of magnitude ranging from 10 raised to power minus 20 to 10 raised to power 7 ohm inverse meter inverse. So solid can be classified into three categories. So on the basis of the conductivities, because it's exhibit amazing range of the electric conductivity. Okay, so 27 order of the magnitude ranging from 10 raised to power minus 20 to 10 raised to power 7 ohm inverse meter inverse. So it is categories divided into three types. Okay, so on the basis of the conductivity, first is conductors, second one insulators, and third one is semiconductors. Conductors, insulators and semiconductors. So first one is conductors. Okay, so conductor, that is means the solid with conductivities range between 10 is to power 4 to 10 is to power 7 ohm inverse meter inverse are called conductors. Okay, the solid with conductivities range, the solids with conductivities range between 10 is to power 10 to 10 is to power 7 ohm inverse meter inverse are called conductors. And metals have conductivities in the order of 10 raised to power 7 ohm inverse meter inverse are good conductors. Okay, see the diagram. Okay, so in the metal represent, okay, a conductor may conduct electricity through movement of the electrons or ions. Okay, so metallic conductors belong to the former category and electrolyte to the latter. Okay, so metals, here this is the metal. Okay, so metals conduct electricity in the solid as well as molten state also. Okay, and conductivity of the metals depend upon the number of the valence electron. Okay, so valence electron available per atom. So atomic orbitals of the metal atoms form molecular orbitals, which are so close and the energy to each other as to form a band. Okay, if this band is partially filled, so like here you see metal partially filled band. Okay, so partially filled or it overlaps with lower energy level and then higher energy level. So two bands we have to take. So overlapping band. So if this band is partially filled and or it overlaps with higher band energy, unoccupied conduction band, upper side unoccupied. Okay, then electrons can flow easily under an applied electric field. So metal show conductivity. Okay, clear? So this is the overlapping. So electron easily flow upper side. Okay, and conductivity represent. So if the gap between the filled vacuum band and the next higher unoccupied band. Okay, so here you see is the large. Okay, here in metal small. If the gap between filled valence band and the next higher unoccupied band is small, so electrons easily jump. Okay, otherwise you have to say can easily flow easily under an applied electric field. So metal show conductivity. Okay, but in insulator here you see this is the filled band and upper side unoccupied. Okay, so filled valence band and then upper side next higher unoccupied band. Okay, so it is also known as conduction band. Upper side unoccupied vacant band known as conduction band. Okay, and lower band is filled band. So filled band, valence band and the next higher unoccupied band. Okay, so between space is the large. Okay, so electron can't jump to it. Okay, cannot be jumped to it. Okay, so such a substance has very small conductivity and it behave as a insulator. And simple language you have to say in metal smaller, okay, smaller space, otherwise we have to say forbidden zone. So small forbidden zone between the lower filled valence band and the next higher conduction band, so known as metal, because electron easily jump to it. Okay, and represent conductivity. But in insulator forbidden zone, otherwise large energy gap between the filled band and then conduction band. So it is electrons cannot be jumped to it. So such a substance has very small conductivity and it behave as a insulator. Okay, clear? So first is conductors. So solid with conductivities ranging between 10 to power 7 ohm inverse meter inverse are called conductors, and metal have conductivities in order to of 10 to power 7 ohm inverse meter inverse are good conductors. Okay, and second one insulators, these are solid with very low conductivity range between 10 raised to power minus 20 to 10 raised to power 10 ohm inverse meter inverse. Okay, so both are I explained. Next is third one is semiconductor. On the basis of conductivity, semiconductor, that is means between the conductor and insulators, so value also between. So these are the solid with conductivities in the intermediate range. These are the solid with conductivities in the intermediate range from 10 raised to power minus 6 to 10 raised to power 4 ohm inverse meter inverse, so known as semiconductors. Okay, so see the conductivity of the semiconductor. Here you see small forbidden zone, here very large, and here small, very small, and here large. Okay, so conduction of the electricity in semiconductor. Okay, so the gap between the valence band and the conduction band is small, right? Okay, so some electrons may jump to the conduction band and show some conductivities, but comparison then matter less. Okay, so electrical conductivity of the semiconductor with increases with rises in the temperature. That is means whenever we have to increase the temperature, so its electrons maximum jump to the conduction band. Okay, so it is represent conductivities. So temperature, conductivity of the semiconductor directly proportional temperature. So temperature increase, so that is means its conductivity also increase. Okay, example substances like silicon, germanium show this type of behavior and are called intrinsic semiconductor. Okay, so its example is semiconductor example is silicon and germanium. Silicon symbol is Si and then germanium Ge. Silicon and germanium show this type of behavior are called intrinsic semiconductor. Okay, clear? And the conductivity of these intrinsic semiconductor is too low to be of practical use. Okay, the conductivity of these intrinsic semiconductor is too low to be of practical use. Okay, and their conductivity is increased by adding an appropriate amount of the suitable impurities. That is means first we have to increase the temperature, then conductivity increase. Otherwise we have to add an appropriate amount of suitable impurities, so its conductivity also increase. So this process is called doping. If small amount of the any substance we have to add, if small amount of any impurities can be added into the semiconductor, so its conductivity increase. So this process is known as doping. Okay, so doping can be done with an impurities, so which is electron rich or electron deficient, as compared to the intrinsic semiconductor, silicon or germanium. Okay, so depend on the semiconductor, intrinsic semiconductor, silicon or germanium, we have to add impurities like electron rich and electron deficient. So depend on the intrinsic semiconductor, silicon or germanium, and such impurities introduce electronic defect in them. Okay, so here according to the electron rich and electron deficient impurities, doping are two types. First is electron rich impurities and second one is electron deficient impurities. Okay, so see this diagram. Here you see perfect crystal. Here you see this one, silicon atom. Okay, so silicon atom here you see, so ye crystal like. Okay, so this type of, so two types of electron rich impurities and electron deficient impurities. So electron rich impurities known as N type semiconductor, and then electron deficient impurities is known as P type semiconductors. Okay, so perfect crystal. So on the basis of the impurities, doping can be done with an impurities which is electron rich, electron deficient, as compared to the intrinsic semiconductor, silicon or germanium. Okay, so such impurities introduce electron defects in them. So first is electron rich impurities. Here you see silicon atom matter. Okay, so silicon belong to the group 14. Okay, Si belong to the 14th group. Okay, so 4 valence electron, 1 2 3 4, 4 valence electron. In their crystal, each atom form 4 covalent bonds with its neighbor. Clear? Okay, here 1 2 3 and 4. So 4 valence electron each, and then 4 covalent bond with its neighbor, right? But when dropped with a group 15 element like phosphorus and arsenic, okay, phosphorus, here silicon and germanium, 14th group, and then here n-type phosphorus and arsenic, okay, 15th group. Okay, so 15th element like phosphorus and arsenic, okay, added in this. So which arsenic 5 electron, valence electron, so they occupy some of the lattice site in the silicon of the germanium crystal. So 4 out of the 5 electrons are used to the 4 covalent bond with the 4 neighboring carbon atom, silicon atoms. So 5th electron is extra. Here you see, here 5th electron is extra, right? So 4 electron used in the covalent bond, 4 bond. Okay, so 5th electron is extra, right? So 5th electron is extra, so becomes delocalized. Okay, and this delocalized electrons increase the conductivity of doped silicon. Okay, right? So these delocalized electrons increase the conductivity of the doped silicon. So increase in conductivity due to this is the negatively charged electron. Electron is negatively charged. So increase the electron conductivity is due to the negatively charged electron. So silicon doped. Okay, silicon doped with electron rich impurities is called n-type semiconductor. Okay, so increase in conductivity is due to the negatively charged electron. So silicon doped with electron rich impurities is called n-type semiconductor. Okay, second one, here you see, this is the silicon and germanium 14th group of element, but silicon and germanium also doped with 13th group. Okay, and 13th group of element like boron, aluminium, otherwise gallium. Okay, this is the 13th group. Okay, so 13th group of element, boron, aluminium, gallium. Okay, so doped of silicon. So here see boron on the place of the silicon. Okay, and you already know about 13th group, that is means 3 valence electron. So 1 2 3, 3 valence electron form 3 vacant covalent bond. Okay, but 4th electron is vacant, missing. Okay, this electron is silicon, right? So here no electron. So no electron, that is means positive hole. Okay, clear? So silicon and germanium also be doped with group 13 element like boron, aluminum and gallium, which contains only 3 valence electron, 1 2 3. So the place where is the 4th valence electron is missing is called electron hole, otherwise positive hole, otherwise we have to say electron vacancy. Okay, and then electron from a neighboring atom can come and then fill the electron hole. But in doing it, so it would have leave an electron hole. Here produce hole. Okay, so electron hole at its original position. So if it happens, it would appear as if the electron has moved in the direction opposite to that of the electron and that filled it, because this is here electron filled and opposite way, this is the vacant position. Okay, so under the influence of the electric field, electrons would move towards the positively charged plates through electronic holes, but it would appear as if electron holes are positively charged. So moving towards negatively charged plates. So this type of conductors are called p-type semiconductor. Okay, so here you see negatively charged plate and this is the hole. So cationic charge plate. Okay, but vacant. Okay, so under the influence of the electric fields, electrons would move towards the positively hole. Okay, positively charged plate through electronic holes. Okay, but it would appear as if electronic holes are positively charged and are moving towards negatively charged side. So this type of semiconductor, p type of semiconductor. Okay, so there are, according to the electron rich and electron deficient, two types of semiconductor, n type and p type semiconductor. Or this process, okay, this process can be done by doping. Okay, clear? Okay, so this is the creation of the n type and p type semiconductor by doping groups 13 and then 15 and 13 groups, right? Then application of the n type and p type semiconductor. So various combination of the n type and p type semiconductor are used for making electronic components. Okay, first electronic components is diode. Okay, and diode is a combination of n type and p type semiconductor and used as a rectifier. Okay, second, transistors. Transistors are made by sandwiching a layer of one type of semiconductor between the two layers of the other type of semiconductor, like N, P, N. So between the N, P semiconductor, so sandwich like second type of P and P. So this is the transistor. So there are two types of transistor formed by N type and P type of semiconductor. Okay, and these transistors are used to defect or amplify radio or audio signals, right? And the third is application solar cell. First is diode, second one transistor, and third one is solar cell. Solar cell is the efficient photodiode. Okay, solar cell is for efficient photodiode used for the conversion of the light energy into the electrical energy. Okay, so diode used as a rectifier, transistor used to detect or amplify radio or audio signal. Third is solar cell is an efficient photodiode and used for conversion of light energy into electrical energy. Okay, then germanium and silicon are group 14 element and have of characteristic valence of 4 and form 4 bond as a diamond. Okay, as in diamond. So large variety of the solid state materials have been prepared by combination of the group 13 and group 15, otherwise combination of 12 and 16, to stimulate average valence of 4 as in germanium or silicon. Okay, typical compounds of the group 13 and 15 are IN and SB. IN, indium, and SB, antimony. Then ALP, aluminium and phosphorus, and then GaAs, gallium and then arsenic. Okay, and gallium and arsenide, GaAs, semiconductor have very last response and have revolutionized the design of the semiconductor device. Okay, then example, zinc sulfide, cadmium selenium, mercury, tellurium are example of group 12 and 16. Okay, so prepared by the large variety of the solid state materials prepared by the combination 13 and 15 group and 12 and 16 group. Okay, so these compound, the bonds are not perfectly covalent and ionic characters depends on the electronegative of the two elements. Okay, so transition metals oxide show marked difference in electrical properties. Example, titanium oxide, chromium oxide, rhenium oxide behave like metals. Okay, and rhenium oxide ReO3 is like metallic copper in its conductivity and appearance also. Okay, other example, vanadium oxide, vanadium dioxide, vanadium trioxide and titanium oxide show the metallic or insulating properties depending on temperature. So these are application of the N type and P type of semiconductor. First is diode, second one transistor, third is solar cell. Then after germanium and silicon semiconductor, prepare large variety of the solid state, but prepared by the combination of the group 13 and 15 and then 12 and 16. Okay, clear? Then next topic is magnetic properties. Magnetic properties, here you see, this is way atomic nucleus, right? Okay, and whenever magnetic moment, here you see electron, every substance has some magnetic properties associated with it. Okay, and origin of this property lies region electrons. So each electrons in an atoms, so center point atomic nucleus and surrounded electrons. Okay, so each electron in atom behave like a tiny magnet. Okay, tiny magnet. So its magnetic moment, okay, originates from two type of motion. Okay, two types of motion. First is orbital motion and second one is spinning option. Okay, orbital motion, that is means around the nucleus, and second is spinning or electron, that is means spinning motion, that is means it's spin around its own axis. Okay, around nucleus orbital motion, and then self axis, its self axis, on axis, okay, spin around its own axis, that is means orbiting spinning electron. Okay, so electron being a charged particle and undergoing these motion can be considered as a small loop of current. Here you see, with a possess a magnetic moment. So each electron has a permanent spin and an orbital magnetic moment, so associated with it. So magnitude of this magnetic moment is very small and measured in the unit called. Each electron has a permanent spin and an orbital magnetic moment associated with it. Magnitude of this magnetic moment is very small and measured in the unit called Bohr magneton. Bohr magneton, that is means mu b. Okay, Bohr magneton, that is means mu b. So each electron has a permanent spin and an orbital magnetic moment associated with it. So magnitude of these magnetic moment very small and measured by the unit Bohr magneton, mu b, and its value is equal to 9.27 into 10 to the power minus 24 Armstrong m meter square. Okay, clear? Okay, so again I say every substance have some magnetic properties, okay, associated with it. So each electron is in atoms behave like a tiny magnet because magnetic property is denoted represent by electron. So electron, okay, behave like as a tiny magnet, or magnetic moment originate from two types of motion. First its orbital motion around the nucleus, and second one its spin around its own axis, right? So electron being a charged particle and undergoing these motion considered as a small loop of current, okay, which possesses a magnetic moment. So each electron has a permanent spin and orbital magnetic moment associated with it. So magnitude of this magnetic moment is very small and measured in the unit called Bohr magneton. So is equal to 9.27 into 10 to the power minus 24 Armstrong m square. So on the basis of magnetic properties, 5 properties. First is paramagnetic, second is diamagnetic, third one is ferromagnetic, fourth is antiferromagnetic, and fifth is ferrimagnetic. First is paramagnetic. Paramagnetic, that is means weakly attracted by magnetic field. Okay, and magnetized in magnetic field in the same direction, this way. Okay, clear? So they lost their magnetism in the absence of the magnetic field. Okay, so paramagnetism is due to the presence of one or more unpaired electrons, okay, attracted by the magnetic field. Example given: O2, copper 2 plus, Fe3 plus, chromium 3 plus. Okay, so paramagnetism substance are weakly attracted by magnetic field because in the absence of the magnetic field they lost their magnetism. Okay, and it is that due to the presence of one or more unpaired electron which are attracted by magnetic field. Example, O2, copper plus 2, Fe3 plus and chromium 3 plus. Okay. Second one is diamagnetism. Diamagnetism, that is weakly repelled. Okay, the diamagnetic substances are weakly repelled by magnetic field. Example, water, NaCl and C6H6. Okay, and weakly magnetized in a magnetic field. Its opposite direction, this way. Okay, so diamagnetism is shown by those substances in which all the electrons are paired, because the opposite direction, so paired, so no unpaired electrons. So pairing of electron cancel their magnetic moment. Okay, so that is means its mu is equal to 0. Magnetic moment value is 0. Third one is ferromagnetism. Okay, so see this diagram, ferromagnetism. Ferromagnetism, antiferromagnetism and ferrimagnetic. Okay, ferromagnetism example is iron, nickel, gadolinium, CrO2 are attracted. So here very strongly. Okay, so whenever magnetic field apply, see, so magnetic field apply. Okay, so in ferromagnetic all in the direction of the magnetic field. So that is means strongly by magnetic field. Okay, so these substances can be permanently magnetized and metal ion of the ferromagnetic substance are grouped together and into the small region are called domains. Okay, this is called domains. Okay, and each domains act as a tiny magnet. Okay, and unmagnetized piece of a ferromagnetic substance like domains are randomly oriented and their magnetic moment get cancelled. Okay, and when the substance is placed in the magnetic field, all the domains get oriented in the direction of the magnetic field. Okay, so a strong magnetic field is produced. Okay, and this ordering of the domains persists even when the magnetic field is removed. So ferromagnetic substance becomes a permanent magnet because magnetic field remove. So but arrangement same. Okay, becomes a permanent magnet. So second one, antiferromagnetism. Example is MnO. Okay, example is MnO, manganese oxide. Okay, showing antiferromagnetism. Have domain structure similar to the ferromagnetic substance, but their domains are oppositely oriented and cancel each together. See this one. Upside, downside, upside, downside. So antiferromagnetism. So cancel its magnetic moment. So 0. Okay, then third one is ferrimagnetism, and ferrimagnetism is observed when the magnetic moment of the domain in the substance are aligned in parallel and anti-parallel. First is parallel in the magnetic field, then second one is up downside, then upside, downside. So parallel. So ferrimagnetism is observed when the magnetic moments of the domains in the substance are aligned in parallel and then after anti-parallel direction in unequal number. So they are weakly attracted by magnetic field as compared to the ferromagnetic substance. Okay, its example is Fe3O4 magnetite, and then ferrites like MgFe2O4 and zinc Fe2O4 are example of such substance, and this substance also lost ferrimagnetism on heating and becomes paramagnetism. Okay, clear? So diamagnetism example, water, NaCl, C6H6. Then ferromagnetism example, iron, cobalt, nickel, chromium oxide, gadolinium. Okay, then antiferromagnetism example, MnO. Ferrimagnetism example, Fe3O4 magnetites, and then ferrites, MgFe2O4 and zinc Fe2O4. Okay, but this property, these substance also lost ferrimagnetism whenever heating and becomes paramagnetism. So 5 properties of magnetics. Okay, so first one is paramagnetic, second one is diamagnetic, third one is ferromagnetic, and fourth is antiferromagnetic, and then last is ferrimagnetic. Okay, According to me, you completely understood. Thank you so much.